That is things like scams, the seniors and peers.
Check.
I'm going to let Louise introduce our guest speaker, and I'm really grateful that you are here, and
Can I just hold this? It's already picking me up right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, you might want to sit here before our seat gets. I stalled this all so that when you find it.
I appreciate that so much.
I'm going to sit with you.
Okay.
So, Louise, I turn it over to you.
You were going to introduce Aaron.
No, I just welcome you.
I'm thrilled that Aaron came to join us today. This is Aaron LeBlanc.
LeBlanc.
LeBlanc, I'm
It's
sorry.
fine.
I was French for 10 years. Erin's from the Senior Center, and she's going to tell us about the new Senior Center, which I am so excited to hear about.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
And thank you.
Louise, did I forget you? It's fault. No, it's your fault. Everything's my fault.
Am I in a good spot?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. It's videotaping and every microphone and everything. My goodness. So I'm Erin LeBlanc, and I'm the director of the Laramie County Senior Center, and I've been there for just over 5 years, almost 6 years in August. So originally I started out as the Retired and Senior Volunteer Program Director, RSVP. And that was one of the programs that we ran until, I think it ended in March of 2021. The grant, you do competitive grant applying, and our year was coming up. And just, had some changes going on and just decided that was a program that we were not going to continue doing. And I had taken over as the director from Wendy Govich, who had been there for a couple of years, in February of 2020, so right before COVID hit. And so just really being new to Cheyenne, being new to my position, and then navigating, it was just a lot. So just focused all of my efforts on the Senior Center and that program. COVID, I always say, was really good for us at the Senior Center in a lot of ways because, again, I was new to the position. Senior Center had been there for many years, was kind of a collection of things, if you will. And I'm pretty aesthetic when it comes to some of those things. So it gave us time to really purge, clean house, paint, throw things away that had been there for many years that people had become attached to, that didn't want to get rid of, and just things like that. So, and I'm really happy that at the whole time we did not lay off one staff person. We did not reduce any hours. It was really important because we continued with our nutrition program. So instead of congregate, we did takeouts. People came in, got their meals to leave. And so when we weren't doing activities, our staff were calling all of our seniors and checking on them. And so we started with the alphabet A and worked our way through. And when we got to Z, which took us a couple of months, we started back again. So we did 2 rounds of calls. And we called people every single day, someone in our list. And we found that there were people that when we talked to them and said, how are you? Do you need anything? Can we provide you with resources? Someone say, I'm fine. My daughter's here or checking on me. I live with my daughter. No, I'm great. And we found other people that sat and listened and wanted to visit and us to listen for sometimes an hour or so on the phone. And staff were very patient and listened to people because obviously they didn't have someone. And so we really took that opportunity to really engage with our senior community, we felt like. So we have been the Senior Center here in Cheyenne for 53 years, since 1972. And so we were given the opportunity in 2022, I'm going to get that wrong, I know, to be on the 6th penny. maybe it was 2022. And because we broke ground in November of 23 at the new site. So county commissioners, came to our board chairman at the time and said, it's time to build a senior center. And do you think you can rally it up and get out there and promote yourselves to be engaging with the community to get those votes? And we said, yes, we can do that, because we were very excited about that. And so in November of 2021, no, I'm going to get that all wrong. I should have wrote this down. Maybe it was November of 22. The vote passed with 60% of the vote. We got $10.1 million. That's public notice and knowledge, and very excited. And then, of course, that starts out the bidding process of everything and what that looks like. So we ended up breaking ground in November of 23. The outside of the building was pretty much completed last fall, around November, December. Then the focus was a little bit more on the inside of the building and what that looks like, Wyoming weather and kind of what that is. So we're excited. We just posted our 30-day notice at our current sites on May 30th. And so we are going to be closing the current senior center and moving into our new building on January 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. It gives us time to kind of get in the building. Our staff have not even cooked a meal in the kitchen yet. So we want to get them in there so they can cook for staff, maybe some of our board members, what that looks like. And then we're going to be open for business and ready to go on Monday, July 7th. So our hours are going to be Monday through Friday from 8 to 5. We currently do lunch on Saturday and Sunday at the downtown location, but we're going to not do that moving into the new center. We're just going to focus on Monday through Friday. I'd like to think maybe in the future we can open on a Saturday for some activities in the morning, maybe a Tai Chi class, a yoga class, have lunch if people want to do that, and then maybe a card game or something in the afternoon. So we're looking at what that might be for us. I brought some information for you. So this card basically just I wanted to give it to you because it does have our website on it and information about the address. We will have the same phone number that we currently have at the downtown location. So I'm not sure how many years we've had that, but we thought obviously that was very important for us to keep that same phone number going. So that's really kind of what this card is really just telling you about, where we're going and everything like that. We do have some, if you have access to a computer, our website has current pictures posted of the outside. They had kind of a drawing picture of sorts, and now we have a current picture and some pictures on the inside. So it's beautiful building. It is, we are currently in an 8,000 square foot building at the downtown location, and this one is just over 15, and it's on 2 levels. So I describe it as patio style. So when you drive in off of Pershing, that's the main level, and then you can take stairs or the elevator to go down to the lower level, which is which is the Cox Court level, I guess you'd say, kind of where the land slopes. So parking is on Pershing Boulevard. And so that's really exciting, because if you've been to our downtown location, we have no parking. And that was really big and important for us, that people wanted to come and get involved, and we don't have a lot of parking. And every year, if you come to the center or you've participated with taxes, we host, it used to be under, I think it was under AARP, and now it's under United Way or VITA, Volunteer Income Tax Assistance. And every year those numbers have increased. And so we didn't host them this year because we didn't know when we were moving and didn't want them to, be in the building, us working around them, trying to pack up and everything. But we see over 900 people come through the building during the end of January till the middle of April for taxes. And that's just a lot of extra people in our building if we were looking at moving. So we've already spoken to them, and we'll have them back at the new center next year. in January. So we are really excited about our new building. We do, at our current center, which everything will get transferred over, we have a great exercise programs, and I brought complimentary newsletter for you. The newsletters, if you decide you want to continue that, don't come like this. They're more of in a book form. These are just copies of the newsletters that I brought, but it shows you we do yoga, tai chi, fitness classes. Some are 2 days a week, some are 3 days a week. We do, of course, bingo. We have, let me think now, poker, bridge. We started Mahjong in February. We do card games. We do all kinds of different things on a regular basis. There's always something going on every day in the building activity-wise. Today we had Dr. Winters over talking about lower back pain from Cheyenne Regional Medical Group. Yesterday we had AARP in the building talking about smartphones and kind of telling people just how to navigate your phones a little bit, a smartphone or an Apple phone, on apps and things. Next week we have Alzheimer's coming in. They're doing a 10-month series once a month. And so she's coming next week for that too. So we have lots of presentations that we also schedule. And those are typically in the newsletters as well. We try to give that information to people so they can participate with us. There's no registration that's required. You just show up and participate. That we do post is, of course, our events. So again, what I was just talking about kind of gives you time and what day they're at. We also post a menu for the month, just letting you know what our lunch is. So we do serve lunch, as I said, downtown, 7 days a week currently. Lunch on Monday through Friday is from 11 to 1. So whenever someone wants to come in. And on the weekends, it's only from 11 to 12, because that's all we do on Saturdays and Sundays is just open the doors for lunch and then we close. We don't have anything else that goes on. Our lunch or a suggested donation of $6. So we say if someone is able to pay $6, great. If you want to give me $20, I'm going to take your $20 and say thank you. If you have $1, 50 cents, if you have nothing, we're not going to turn someone away for their inability to pay. We have just a little box. Someone just puts it in the box or puts nothing in the box or checks in and walks through, and that's okay. That's not, we're not focused on the person and saying, well, you gave money, but you didn't give money. There's no difference to us. I mean, of course, we work off of our donations, and that's wonderful, and we appreciate what people are able to give. The only cost that we have at the center, we have no membership. So the only costs that you would incur is if you get involved in an exercise class. Those are $10 a month. So for instance, the yoga classes that we do several days a week are $10. We feel like that's pretty good and pretty fair, being taught in the class. If you go to a studio and look at yoga classes, they average about $90 to $100 a month. So we figure that that's a pretty decent price. One of the other great things that we do is we do outings and outings, excursions, whatever you want to call them. So last week, for instance, they went to Museum of Illusions, and then they went to lunch. And so we only charge typically the cost of whatever that ticket would be. And sometimes we do include a trip fee, depending on what that is. And those are pretty low. We sometimes get discounts on tickets because we group get tickets, and we just pass that along to our patrons that are attending as well. We don't up the prices to make money on things like that, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Next week, for instance, they're going to the Duchess Tea Room in Fort Collins. So it's a proper British tea, and people are encouraged to wear their, it says afternoon tea outfits and your fascinators, your hat. And I do know we do have a few openings for that. So if anyone's interested, you can register at the senior center. It sounds like it's very fun. We really try to focus on different things that maybe somebody wouldn't think of or wouldn't normally do. I know in July we are doing the Titanic immersive. I've been seeing a lot of advertisement for that. We went last year, I think it was, to Denver and did an immersive. So it's, if you don't know what that is, you're kind of in a room and it's kind of theatered all over the walls. So you're kind of experiencing it. So what they're kind of saying is in the Titanic, you're kind of experiencing as the events are happening or occurring. And you go in and you get a passport or you get a card from an actual passenger. And apparently at the end, you find out if they survived the Titanic.
You want to hope that you get a seat on the life raft.
Right. Right. And you weren't below deck or something, right?
You have a bus that takes everybody?
We do have a bus.
And so you limit how many people?
Our bus holds 12. Currently, we'd love to get a bigger bus in the future, but currently our bus holds 12. And so people just drive to the senior center and get on the bus and they go on their trip. All of our trips, of course, do take registration and if there's a cost, then what that cost is. So, and usually it depends on what the events are. So for instance, on the Duchess Tea Room, we've maxed it out at 10. We're not doing a full bus because, we're paying for the tickets ahead of time and then obviously hoping that people are all going to register and go to that and come back with that. So sometimes some of our things are a little bit expensive. We do go to Johnstown and go to the Dinner House Theater, and those can be a little bit more on the high end. So we may not be buying 12 tickets for that because we're not sure. We did buy some tickets, I think it was last year. I think we bought 6 and we sold out of them within, I think, 2 days of our newsletter being mailed out. And people kept saying, can you get more tickets? And so I had called them like 3 times and added on more tickets. So we were fine with that and they had that availability. So anyway, so when we're doing some things like that, I know that we're going to, I think it's in July, we're going to the Lavender Festival. It's on a Saturday and a Sunday in July in Chatsfield. I think it's connected to the Botanic Gardens in Denver. So it's opening weekend of a Lavender Festival. So we're going to do that. We're going to do a lot of lunch. We do a lot of lunch things at different places. We also do, again, museums, shows. Trying to think of what else because I've scheduled them. Plays, we've done that. We did in Fort Collins, we did a candlelight theater type play or musical. So it was like an old building and it was all lit up with electric candles and it was absolutely beautiful. And they played music. It was modern music. It was a group called Coldplay. So it was a modern group, but they played it like orchestra styled. So you wouldn't even have known maybe, that it was a modern group. So it was absolutely beautiful. We went at night. And so we do some night ones. And then of course, second Thursday of every month, we always go to Black Hawk. It's kind of a standard trip that we do. We leave at 8:00 in the morning and it's a long day. They connect back on the bus at 5 in Black Hawk and then make the drive back. So sometimes they're back at 7:30, 8:00 at night. So it is a great trip. Any questions so far?
What hours are you open?
Now, well, right now we're open from 8 to 4. And so we will be open 8 to 5 at the new center.
Now, I know a lot of people in Burke eat at your place now.
Mhm.
Are you still going to, will they still be able to eat down in the dining room now?
So currently we have, we have had, I guess because we've closed one, we have 3 satellite locations. So we've had, our downtown is our main location where we cook all the meals. And then we have one over here on Story Boulevard at Indian Hills Manor. So we bring the food, our driver brings the food up here and we prep things in the kitchen area in the dining room. You don't have to live right at that Indian Hills Manor to eat there. We have a few people that come in from the community. We also have Stanfield Manor, which is right here off of Shoshone. We closed that one on May 15th. And then we have over at Fox Crest, which is next to the current senior center, the new senior center, I'm sorry. We have a small satellite location there. So we decided, when the focus became the new senior center, that we would be closing those satellite locations and focus on the new senior center and put all of our energy into that. So all of those, the remaining locations will close on June 30th, including the downtown location. So I don't want to make this sound like it's, so easy for me to say, but, our focus is on our older adults and population and providing them activities and meals if they want to congregate and come in for meals and that's a dining room setting in our dining room. And so a lot of our individuals come from the outside. They drive and they come. And so our hope is that they will drive to the new center. And those that don't, you can catch the bus, which is right there by the library. So for the Birkins, for instance, it's right across the street. And the bus stop currently now is right by Maverick. So it's right around the corner from the new center. And they can take the bus and do that as well. You can also look at the curb to curb. So if someone has some mobility issues, you can always fill out the paperwork for that. It does take a physician to basically authorize that you need a door-to-door service. And you can do a curb to curb as well. And that would pick you up right at your home and drop you off right in front of the senior center.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people at work already get Meals on Wheels.
They do.
So more of them may do that.
You're absolutely right.
Getting out.
Yes. Yes. I mean, I think you would be surprised. I mean, the Burke High Rise is not senior housing. It's a multi-age complex. So there's a lot of 25-year-olds that might live there. And so, again, we're excited to get back to our focus of being a senior center as well. And that is 60 years of age and older. So what we do is we get funding through the Aging Division. And so it's under the Older Americans Act. And so that's some of the federal and state funding that we get. We do get some city money, some county money that we petition for every year. So we have to ask for that and see if, they will include us on their budget. And then we do a tremendous amount of fundraising ourselves. We're, try to be involved in a lot of different things. We've done deep fried, our cook makes some amazing deep fried tacos. And so we've done deep fried tacos. We've done Fridays on the Plaza with our deep fried tacos. We've done cruise night. We were able to get pulled our name for cruise night. And we just did Thankful Thursday. And that was when you're on the list for Thankful Thursday, you're on it for only 5 years. And then when your 5 years is done, you get on the bottom of his wait list again, and someone else that was on his wait list kind of moves into your spot for the next 5 years. So we could be on Alf's wait list for quite a long time. Thankful Thursday is, I don't know all the history of it.
I know that.
Okay.
Thankful Thursday started at Alf's when he had the Red Bull. And every Thursday, he would have a different charity that people would bring in, that organization would bring in auction items. And then Alf would auction them off, and there was a great deal of drinking involved, which always ups the price.
Loosen inhibitions, it loosens the pocketbook.
But it got to be so big that he moved it to Alf's, and now he's moved it to
Lincoln Way Event Hall.
whatever, that used to be.
It used to be AmVets and, I think something else, yeah.
But they get a huge crowd, and
Mhm.
every week he does a different charity.
Mhm.
And it's really quite amazing how much they can raise. And I haven't been there for a while, but I think he's up to like $3 million.
Yeah, just over 3.
Over $3 million that he's raised during the time that they've done
Yeah.
this for different nonprofits
Yeah.
in Cheyenne. And in the beginning, they did a lot for Meals on Wheels and Safe House. And so I was familiar because my daughter worked both of those.
Yes.
But it's a great thing, and it's
Yeah.
a fun time. And
Yeah.
wonderful that people go every week and support that.
Yes. So ours was, our fifth and final year was May 22nd. And so we raised $23,700. And that is based on, we brought our food. We have a kitchen. So we brought smothered burritos that we made for that night and sold the meal. And then we had auction items. So what we do is our staffs went out and asked businesses, are you able to donate something? Sometimes they would donate a big basket full of stuff. And sometimes it said, well, I'm a hairstylist, I can donate a haircut, a couple of haircuts. So then we're combining those single items into baskets for the night. So we had it's a kind of a combination of all of that comes together that gives us the money that was raised that evening. So yes, absolutely wonderful. And now it's done for the summer months, and he'll pick back up again with his fall schedule of whoever's on his fall schedule. But since it was our final year, another business that's been on his wait list, as I said, will drop in, and they'll do 5 years now. So every year he's got one or two that are dropping off because they've completed their 5 years. So it's fundraising events like that just kind of help our who we are as well. This year will be our first year that we're participating in YO Gives. We've not done that before. And so that's it's all kind of online, and you decide you want to donate $10, $20, whatever an organization's kind of marks might be, to kind of help them out. And again, it's a lot of nonprofits that do that. So I don't know all of them that are on there, but I know we're on there, Community Action, Meals on Wheels, a lot of nonprofits that are, seeing where people want to donate. So we're involved in those things as well. So we're very excited about that this year.
I'd like to commit Ascension as providing something for you in that auction. Ron will help fund this financially, but we will provide 4 VIP front row seats to the worship service of their choice.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.
You got to sit in the front row.
Okay. That's okay. That's where I sit when I go to church. I always sit right in center in front, because if I sit in the back, everything, because then I'm watching what people are wearing, what they're looking, if they're late. I notice that too. So I have to sit always right in front. So my focus is right there. So it's all good.
It's all right.
As long as there's singing involved. Is there singing that I can tell them? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
He's the former leader of the choir.
Oh, well, there you go. That makes it all worth it.
I've got a couple of questions.
Okay.
What times do you serve these meals?
11 to 1.
11 to 1?
Mhm. And that's just the Monday through Friday. Monday through Friday. And then until the end of June, we also do Saturday and Sunday. That's going to end when we move into the center.
What is the cost for the dinner?
Again, it's a suggested donation of $6.
How many people can you accommodate?
We can accommodate, so people obviously filter in and out through that time. We have that group that comes in right at 11. We have on Fridays, our bingo players like to stay for bingo at 1 o'clock, so they'll come in around 12:15, 12:30. Our dining room, I think, can hold 175. We've never maxed it at that, but we did an Elvis impersonator. Gosh, what would it have been? His 40th? It was in August. So is that when he passed away, in August? So it was actually, I think, right on the day. It happened to fall on a Friday or Saturday a few years ago. And we did a 40th celebration for Elvis. We had an impersonator come up from Colorado. And so we had that in dinner, and we were a packed house at 90.
That wasn't George Gray, was it?
I don't know. I'll have to look it up.
Really?
He came from the upper area, so it could have been. He was very good. Could have
If you
been.
ever want him and need him again,
Okay.
let me know, because we went to school together.
Okay.
Especially if he charged you, I'll get a view.
Oh, there, I like that. I am not afraid to toss names around, believe me.
You did a lot of wonderful things. I didn't
Thank
know
you.
There were so many activities.
Right.
And that's usually when I come and do presentations, I always give our newsletter, because I want, people don't realize that. You're absolutely right. People think we're kind of tucked in there. We're kind of behind things. People don't notice us. And so I always like to bring our newsletter to make people realize how busy we are. And again, those are just going to continue to grow when we move into the new center and trying to figure that out. One of the other things that we do is our Age Well conference. And so this will be our 5th year doing this. And this started, again, 5 years ago, but when I moved here in 2019, talking to Michelle Herrera, who ran our caregiver program for 16 years, I said, what do we do here? How do we get to our seniors? And she says, well, we do a little resource fair in our dining room. And I said, how many people do you get? And she said, well, we can probably fit about 5. I worked as a long-term care ombudsman, and we used to attend these kind of conferences in Denver, Boulder, those kind of areas. And I said, oh no, we're gonna make this bigger. We need to do breakout sessions. We need to do resource fair. We need to just make this big. Since we're Cheyenne and we serve seniors. And so then COVID hit, of course, so that derailed us for a little bit. So our first year we were at LCCC, and our keynote speaker was Lisa Oswald from the Aging Division. Well, I invited Governor Gordon to come to be there as well. And he came and I said, but don't worry, you're not my keynote speaker. You're going to be introducing my keynote speaker. Lisa's like, oh, well, okay. I think he wanted to be my speaker. And I said, no, you're just coming. So he introduced our keynote speaker, and that's kind of how the conference started up at LCCC. The last couple of years, we've had it at Story Gym, which works out really well because that gym is huge. And we're able to hold about 55 vendors we've had the last couple of years there. Yes. And then we have in different parts of the gym, we'll have our breakout sessions where they happen simultaneously. So you can listen to someone talk about Medicare, or you might go listen to someone that talks about nutrition, kind of whatever topic you want to choose. You're not stuck to only one speaker. This year we're having it at LCCC in the Pathfinder building, only because Story Gym is getting some new flooring or some work done. We have to work around the school schedule. So this year it's going to be at the Pathfinder building at LCCC. The conference is free. We do have lunch that somebody can purchase if they want. They can leave for lunch, bring their lunch, whatever they want to do. But I think we have some really good breakout speakers that are going to talk. Every year we try to find some different speakers to talk about of interest to our seniors. We ask people to fill out a survey at the end. What do you want to hear? What's of interest to you? Or during the year, people are coming to us, might say, I get a lot of pushback on ageism. What is ageism? I hear people tell that, or I'm affected by that. So I'll say, well, that's a good thing. Let's put it on our agenda. So that's actually how we come up with some of these topics. So again, we have some helping people's guide to downsizing. At the same time, we're going to have AARP coming in and talking about older adults in the workplace. They do have a program, AARP does. We have 2 people in our senior center right now, our afternoon person who answers the phone. And we have a medical loan closet at the senior center. And Jesse is an AARP employee. And so it's a training program. And so that's kind of what AARP is just going to talk to people about. Veterans benefits. So if you're a spouse or you're a veteran, are you getting the max that you should be getting? Are you understanding all the services that you should be getting or receiving? And then again, ageism, and then a topic that we've heard a lot about and that's very sensitive to our older adults, of course, is how it started out, was bereavement. And just the loss of just a friend. As you get older, I think, you were saying you've lost so many friends. And it was interesting enough that one of my staff person came to me about a month and a half ago, and she said, could you add child on there? And I said, okay, why? And she said, because I hear it when I'm talking to people on the phone, and it's going to make me emotional here. But 3 weeks ago, she lost her son. She was down there celebrating a graduation of a grandson. And while she was down out of state, her son was involved in a motorcycle accident and did not make it. So I thought it was just very timely that she came to me and asked me about this, not even knowing at that time that this might be something that she would need herself. So that's kind of the topic, and we're gonna have Dave, I think it's a pastor from Davis Hospice that's gonna come and talk about this. So we're really excited about our conference. We really just want it to continue to grow, and just again gave you some information. There's no pre-registration or anything, just come and show up. We'll start posting more. So say, you know what, only thing I'm interested about is veterans benefits. I don't want to come for anything else. So we'll be posting what time that is, so that if someone wants to show up just right before that, sit and listen and then leave, most certainly you can do that. Okay. And then one of the other things a couple more things that we do at the senior center that people aren't, we have a medical loan closet. And again, there's a flyer in here about that in the back. So we get new or gently used medical equipment, wheelchairs, walkers, canes, toilet seat risers, shower chairs. We get a lot of depends. And so we then give them out to people in the community at no charge. We get them for no charge, so we give them out at no charge. And people use them for short term. Maybe you're coming out of a surgery, or you use it because you're now progressing and needing a wheelchair. So you might use that for a couple of years. And then you call us and you say, I need to bring in that, and I need something more. Maybe you're in a walker, now I need a wheelchair, or whatever that looks like. And so we don't have any term limits on how long someone can use that piece of equipment for. We have, yes.
That's really helpful.
Thank you.
Surgery a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of those, that's what they just suggested.
Yes.
We had, and it was so very helpful.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I personally had a knee replacement in October. So if you have a replacement, you have to now take this class. When I had my other one, I did not. And so I said, I know what I'm supposed to be doing. And they said, no, this is our requirement. And I took the class at CRMC, and our name was at the very top on medical loan equipment. So they were, of course, bombarding me with questions on what all that is about. But and then we have caregivers, for instance, or spouses that will come in a couple of times a month, maybe once a week, every other week, and need depends. Those can be pretty expensive if you're looking at them in the grocery stores and Walmart or wherever you're going. And we, again, obviously we don't want anything back. So we give you packages of depends, whatever that you need. We get a lot of those. So, again, if you have something that you don't use anymore, you purchase something from a surgery and you don't use it. We see a lot of that on Facebook. Where do I donate this? We always say, I do see those, call the senior center first and see. We don't take big equipment. We get a lot of calls for people who have hospital beds. We don't take those. We just don't have the space for those. They're bulky, they're big, they're heavy. So we don't take those, or ramps, things like that. Was there a question? No? Okay. So again, the medical loan closet is, we don't count our depends, obviously. We count more of the medical equipment. We give out close to 90 pieces a month. So I think that's quite a lot. So obviously we're getting in more. We keep a little stock. Sometimes I have a little stockpile of things, but we're loaning out about 90 pieces a month. And so that's, it's a very active program and keeps us very busy. It's a great program.
Saves people a lot of money.
Especially when you're having something temporary and you don't want to purchase something. You're right. And electric wheelchairs, we do get those periodically, and those can be thousands of dollars. And so we get those, and those we do ask a donation for. When a person says, I have an electric wheelchair, does it have the battery? Does it have the connections? Because we're not taking it if it doesn't, because those batteries sometimes are $700, $800, $900. We can't afford that, and we wouldn't want to put that on someone else who needs that. So when we loan out when we basically give the electric wheelchair, we do ask for like a $200 donation, and we feel like that's kind of fair for what you're getting. And so people have kept those and don't often return them, and again, that's fine. And then one of the other things that we do is I am a SHIP counselor. That's a state health insurance program counselor through Medicare. And so I help people navigate Medicare. The other person here in Cheyenne that does it, that some people might know more about, is Kathy Carlisle. She works for Wyoming Senior Citizens. And so, and that's her paid job. And so I'm a volunteer. I've been doing it coming from Colorado. I've been doing it, it would be my 15th year doing that. And so what we do is help people navigate their Medicare. New to Medicare, some people come and just say, I'm overwhelmed. I'm turning 65 and I'm starting to receive stacks of mail for Medicare, postcards saying, come here, go there, try us, whatever that may be. And they don't know what to do. And I always say, once you start making that first call to someone, a broker or someone from those cards, or going online and trying to figure that out, you've opened Pandora's box, because now you've opened yourself to be susceptible to the phone calls, the emails, the text messages about all of that. And so going through someone like us, we just know how to navigate the website for Medicare, medicare.gov. And we just know how to kind of navigate it and help answer questions for people. And so you see a lot of people throughout the year, but then particularly in October, that 7 weeks, October 15th through December 7th, people will come in, and that's the time when you're looking at your prescription drug plan. Because most people, you'll get in the mail, or not most people, everybody that's on Medicare and a drug plan will get those little packages in the mail that are usually clear packaged right around September or so. And you don't always open it because you think, my Medicare's been doing great. I haven't paid for any medications. I pay a monthly premium of $12 a month. It's all great. Come January, then you find out, oh my gosh, my $12 is now $35. And I used to pay a zero copay, and now I'm paying $5. Maybe that's not a lot, but if you have 10 prescriptions on top of everything else, then that's all adding up. So Aaron, I need to make an appointment with you. I'm sorry, it's after December 7th, and now it's too late. Now you're stuck in that plan for another year. So people come in and see me, schedule appointments, Kathy or I or whatever, but the program. And we go on Medicare, we check your medications. Sometimes I say, we can save you by switching to another plan. They're all certified by Medicare. They're not just some company. You may not have heard of them, but they're still certified by Medicare and could save you hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars. And so we'll help switch that person into another plan, kind of give you the ins and outs of what that's going to look like. Other people, I've sat with many and say, I wouldn't switch. You're on a great plan. It's going to do great for you next year. Come see me next year again, and you're all good, and it'll just roll over to the other plan. And so really it's a free service. Again, we're not doing anything special. And so just helping you kind of look at something that might seem overwhelming and kind of break it down for you. And so I always say, I'm probably the best free money that you're ever going to get, especially if I can save you money. I think last year, so we document everybody. So if I see 5 people, and again, this is added to my regular job. So I don't meet people every hour of the day. So if I see 3 people, I'll write down 3 people, and maybe I saved the total of $500 for the day, or $1,000. I think last year I saved the whole group, 7 weeks, was like $48,000. So that's a lot of savings for people. And it just makes you feel good when you can do that. So I think that's about it.
I missed the crossword puzzle.
Sorry, I'm only allowed so many pages on this. And the one thing,
You still do a crossword puzzle?
I don't always do a crossword puzzle anymore. So on some of these pages, like where you see, this is just my PDF, what I send to the printing company. So like this whole bottom page is advertisements, which obviously you don't have on here. So I'm only allowed a total of 28 pages, and it's not even full pages on all of them. So sometimes I have so much going on, I cannot fit one in there. I can guarantee you it's in the next one, though. There's a brain teaser in there.
We used to get the newsletter
Yes.
while he was eating.
Yes, I try to do a word search or a trailer, brain trailer or something like that. You're right. But if you've got a lot going on, there's room always in these for them. So any questions for me? Gosh. Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Wonderful.
We hope to see you all at the new senior center at some time. We're really excited about it. I know we worked on scheduling our grand opening today, and I cannot give you that date because it's not off the top of my head. But again, we open July 7th. Love for you all to come in and just walk through it and see the new building. So many people just want to see it. So we'd love to have you come through there and see that, yeah. But we will be posting the grand opening as well. So if you don't come, it's okay. Yeah. Well, thank you.
So much.
Thank you.
The next part of our series is in 2 weeks on the 25th, and that is on